having even a wall plug has been so helpful at this Airbnb. We arrived here at 50% charge, and now we're at 92%. It's going to take 7 hours to get to 100, but we don't need 100. So I've rooted in our map here, and this is going to be a story of the two different Teslas, the Model 3 versus 75D. So I find this interesting because there's not a lot of superchargers generally in this area. So if we look closer, they want us to drive about an hour and 40 minutes in Grenada, Mississippi, and charge there. But then look at this one, 1 hour and 10 minutes charge. And I'm guessing that's because we're going to need a pretty full charge to get from Pearl all the way down to Louisville. And they're actually going to want us to charge at the Slidell, I guess it's called, supercharger, which is just outside of New Orleans, which I'm happy to do because I do want to have some power before I get in there. But this trip is going to take us 6 hours and 18 minutes. It's 400 miles. We're charged at 92%, but that doesn't matter, right? Because we're going to arrive at Grenada at 33%, so we don't really need any more power in this car. We can, we'll arrive there just fine. But it's this Pearl stop that really is going to get us. So let's go to the Model 3 and see what the status is there. 3 has the same size battery as the Model X, but of course it's going to be a little bit more efficient because it's a smaller car. We're at 75%, which is about 380 kilometers, give or take, and of range. And you can see here a different story. We still need to stop at Grenada, and it's saying we're going to be about the same stop, but that Pearl stop is only 40 minutes long. And then from Pearl, we can go directly into New Orleans with 12% power. And so, I probably would have, like I said, I'd probably charge in New Orleans as well, just because it's my first time there with the Tesla, and I don't know what the infrastructure there is like. But a good comparison between these two cars. This car is 403 miles, a little shorter ride because we're not going a different route. And then 6 hours and 38 minutes is what the car estimates here. So an easier ride. Now, of course, the actual ride we're going to do is the Model X ride because we're riding together as a convoy, so that's going to take the default. But I thought it was interesting, and I didn't even bother plugging this car into the wall. It was fine. It got here. We charged it briefly at a supercharger yesterday just because we happened to be near one. But otherwise, yeah, that's it. At the Grenada supercharger, which is at a gas station, and they've got 4 pull-ins this way and like that, which is nice. There's no place to sit here, so I got one of these tents, and they're really small. They just you just pull them out, and they turn into a pretty big thing. So we used one of these tents to give the girls some time to play while the car charges. They needed a break anyway. We've been driving for about an hour and a half, and another hour and a half ride next, so it's good to stretch out their legs. And there's no seating in that gas station. It's a nice convenience store, but it's just a convenience store. We're going to be here for about 20 minutes, probably a little longer, just to give the girls time because our next ride is another hour and a half, and so we're going to be here for at least a little bit longer. My only complaint here is the charge is pretty slow. 45 kilowatts isn't that great. It was originally supposed to be a 25-minute charge, and we've been here for at least 10 minutes and still saying 25 minutes until we can continue our trip. Our next stop is going to be in Jackson, Mississippi at a Pearl one, and that's the one it's telling us if we'd still be at negative 6% if we left today, right this moment rather, so we need more time, and that's going to be the big charge, an hour and 20 minutes. At the end of the day, I'm not going to rush this stop. It's better to just take our time and get more juice because that Pearl stop is going to be a long one anyway. We are here in Pearl's supercharger, Mississippi. Nice. All these are you can just front in and plug in, or optionally just back in. It's fine. It's all good. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's kind of obvious you don't do that here. But anyway, we're going to do a little exploring. This is the big stop where we have to charge for an hour and 10 minutes in the Model X 75D. I bet you the Model 3 has more than enough charge to go on. Well, probably needs a 20-minute charge, so let's do that little comparison. So the Model 3 only needs like 10 minutes here to have enough power to get to New Orleans, and the Model X needs an hour of charging, and that's it also got more distance at the last charge. So we have 310 kilometers here. It's about 200 miles, whereas the Model X is down to about 60 or 80 miles. So it's a big difference here between the battery sizes, or the efficiency rather of the cars. So this is by far the longest stop here. We've been here almost an hour, and we're charging to 100%. We're gonna have 225 miles, 15 minutes to a full charge. Even in that, it's going to say we're going to be about, if we leave now, it's predicting we'll get to the next supercharger 6%. So this is basically the range of the car, taking account to weather and that. So it's 196 miles to the next supercharger. Now, interesting dilemma here is we can remove that supercharger stop. And as you can see, that's not a bad idea because we're right down there. It's close to our final destination. And we can do that, and it'll save us about 30 minutes. We're only getting to this station with 5%, so that's not really that great either. So we're gonna go the full route and see. We haven't had any range anxiety yet on this trip, but this might be the closest we get to range anxiety because of the extent of our travels to get there and how close we are. 7% battery, that's pretty low. But actually, it's not that low. We should be fine. And my helper. Hello. Well, otherwise, this is a pretty great stop. It has a food court just down there. It's about like a half a mile walk, 600 meters. Lots of different stuff, so you can do your shopping for an extra long charge, and it's right off the highway. And a lot of chargers. We've just seen the one other Tesla here so far, but great location, a lot of places to eat. We definitely stayed here a little longer than we needed to, as we typically seem to do with children, but the girls are in. They're just getting finished being fed, and then we're going to move on our way to New Orleans. Very rare 100% charge. I guess it's still pulling a little bit of power, but the air is on. And that 100% charge gives us 376 kilometers. So we are here at the Slidell Supercharger. Anyway, it's inside a mall, nice mall. We got here at a pretty good time. We've had like 70 kilometers, so about 50 miles left, and so more than enough charge. And probably could have just headed to New Orleans. And in fact, I would have gone straight to New Orleans if it wasn't for the fact that we didn't have a charger at the Airbnb, because I didn't want to get there with 20 kilometers and then stress out about where to charge the car inside New Orleans. But anyway, this is a good spot. The cars are doing great. We hit some traffic, which wasn't fun, but we got out of it all right. So it's like 9:30 in the morning here. We're about to take off to go to Florida, to Panama City, and we got here at the first supercharger. Our Airbnb didn't have a charger, so we're here at the first supercharger. We're only to be here for 20 minutes before we go on to the next one. This is about a almost 400-mile trip to Panama City, Florida, and we'll need 2 other stops after this one. If we had a full charge, we could have avoided this stop, but this is just like 25-30 minutes outside. And of course, as we got here with the 2 Teslas and a family, we had 2 more that parked, and that seems to be the way it always goes here, and that's really nice. Anyway, this is a nice mall. There's oddly enough no grocery stores here that I can find. There's a Starbucks that we'll drive through, so that's good. So we are here in Mobile, Alabama, and I guess it's Mobile, Alabama. And the Tesla charging station is kind of at this part of this mall is actually abandoned. So like it looks like there's like a store there. That shoe store looks good. But anyway, but here I'll show you guys something that I've never seen before, and that's like a security sign here. And another person here said that this isn't a very good area. I don't know, it seems fine. But the recommendation is to go into the mall through the JCPenney and around the other side. And so that's what we're doing. And the girls are just being fed fine, and that's it. Woo! Hey. Oh man, I was so sweaty unloading the car. We are in Panama Beach City, Panama City Beach. Anyway, back to regular charging via outlet, but this is okay because we're gonna be here for 3 days. It's enough time to charge this car to at least nearly 100%. But let's have a look at the charging. Expected to get here at 5%, and we got here at, well, we got here almost at 10% at this point. So that's pretty good. And let's look at the charging screen. This is what you get when you charge with the regular plug. As you can see so far, as before we've noticed, just because the AC is on, it's not charging at all. Right now it's using all that power to cool the car down because I'm in here, so the AC is on to cool the battery down. But like a rough calculation goes up 1% for this car every hour. So, you know, within 3 days you're gonna get 75%. So that's gonna get us pretty close to where we need to be. Yeah, I'll put the mic close to the car, but it's really loud. Literally sounds like a jet engine. And yeah, really enjoying the Airbnb experience. This is yet another wonderful place where we're staying at. Just got a garage, a little courtyard there, and the beach is not too far. It's just out the street to the right. So yeah, nice little spot, and you know, pretty affordable. There's Thor. He's waiting for Daddy. Another Airbnb and another garage. Let's see how the doors do here. I know, I'm so excited. I rarely get to open the doors in the garages. Nice and easy. And let's see what happens on this side. Ooh. No problems. Sweet.